everyone. My name is Amelia and I'm with the League of Women Voters. And today we're going to be talking about voter suppression and the For the People Act. So you may know that the 2020 election had a record-breaking voter turnout, but unfortunately it was also accompanied by unprecedented amounts of misinformation about election security. And this has led to a backlash against what people believe to be election fraud in the form of voter suppression laws that make voting more difficult or inaccessible. So some examples of this are how Georgia cut their early voting time in half and reduced the number of ballot boxes, which makes it harder for people to vote. And also Arizona changed their early voting list from a permanent list, so once you join it, you're on it for life, to a temporary list that has to be renewed yearly. And in the process, it's purged a bunch of inactive voters from the early voting lists. This makes voting more difficult, so people are less likely to vote, which means that it's voter suppression. This is a problem because the people who could most benefit from representation in our government are denied it by these laws. So for example, lower income people that may be unable to take off work because they're paid by the day or are too busy working to support their families to make any of the reduced voting times, maybe less educated people that can't figure out how to go through all these new processes that are complicating the voting, or minority groups that are being not represented fairly due to gerrymandering. Congress, however, can take action to protect the vote in the form of the For the People Act. This act would expand access to the ballot, bring more ethics rules to voting, have national voting standards, and override anti-voter bills. Some highlights of this would be that it would require online registration for federal elections. In all states, it would have automatic voter registration. So once you give your information to the government, you're automatically registered to vote. Campaign finance groups would have to disclose their donors publicly. There would have to be independent commissions to draw up new districts, and partisan gerrymandering would be banned. And I kind of thought this was a given, but Congress couldn't use taxpayer money to settle sexual harassment lawsuits. So that would be added as well. And so the current situation with this bill is that it did pass the House of Representatives back in March, but then it moves up to the Senate. And in the Senate, there's this process where when a bill enters the Senate, people can debate it until 3/5 of the Senate votes to end debate. And if they don't have 3/5 of the Senate to vote to end debate, this is called a filibuster. And that's currently what's happening with this bill. The Senate is split exactly 50-50 Democrats and Republicans. So any bill that wants to be voted on needs bipartisan support. And at the moment, the For People Act got only 50 Democrats to support it. And so it can't be voted on because there aren't any other votes to get it to that 3/5 requirement. So what can you do? You can contact your senator and tell them to support this bill. Even if you live in a state like California where your senators did support this bill, it can still send out a message to the rest of Congress that you care about this bill and that you want it to happen. You can also go to the leagueofwomenvoters.org to find out more information about how the League is working to protect voting rights and how you can get involved yourself. Thank you.